Thank you again, Mr. Speaker. I move the following resolution, seconded by the member for St. John East, that the following address be presented to Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, to offer the humble thanks of this House to Her Honor for the gracious speech which she has been pleased to make to the Legislative Assembly, namely, to Her Honor, the Honorable Brenda L. Murphy, Lieutenant Governor of the Province of New Brunswick. And may it please Your Honor, we, His Majesty's most dutiful and loyal subjects of the Legislative Assembly of the Province of New Brunswick, now in session, beg leave to extend our humble thanks to Your Honor for the gracious speech which Your Honor has addressed to us, and we assure Your Honor that all matters which may be submitted to us during the session will receive our most careful attention and consideration. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I wish to thank Her Honor, the Lieutenant Governor, and echo her words and the message that we respectfully acknowledge the territory in which we gather as the ancestral homelands of the Wolastoqey, the Mi'kmaq, and the Passamaquoddy people, and we strive for respectful relations with all people of this beautiful province. New Brunswickers have been watching with shock and horror and sadness with the news, the unthinkable violence around the world. Our hearts and our prayers go out to all of those affected. I share the sentiment of our Lieutenant Governor that we are reminded to be grateful for the peace and the safety we enjoy here at home. We are truly blessed to live in this province and this country. I am proud to stand in the People's House as the MLA representing all the people in the heart of the great city of St. John in our riding of St. John Harbour. I could say that we represent the broad shoulders of our city, but I would prefer to say we all stand on the shoulders of giants, those who built our city, those who rebuilt our city, and those who have guided St. John from its very beginning. Mr. Speaker, allow me to pause and expand on the rebuilding of St. John. After the Great Fire of 1877, our city saw a significant rebuilding which continued into the new century with the opening of the Carnegie Building in 1904. It housed the Free Public Library for many generations and was built by Robert Maxwell, former member of the legislature, who served in the cabinet of Conservative Premier Sir Douglas Hazen. Mr. Maxwell served alongside J.K. Fleming, great-grandfather of my esteemed colleague from Rothsay. I only mention this because Robert Maxwell also built a whole lot of Germain Street buildings as a masonry contractor after the St. John Fire in 1877. I bring this up to highlight the factual evidence that Conservatives have been building and rebuilding our province since before the turn of the last century, and we are still hard at it today. There is a lot I want to share with you about the wonderful people of St. John, and some of them in particular, starting with my family. My husband, who I know at times I drive crazy. And oddly enough, that seems to have been more pronounced over the last 3 years. I thank him for sticking around for 37 years and still wanting to go for coffee and a drive with me on Saturday mornings. My daughter, who has turned out to be my best teacher. It's funny how one day your child, you turn around and wake up and they're actually an adult, and they are a source of strength and wisdom and balance for you. And that is what she is for me. My large family of 6 brothers and 3 sisters, among whom you can be guaranteed there is always someone to talk to. But at the same time, there is always at least one feud going on. So no matter the circumstance, their support has always been unwavering, and I am grateful for every single one of them. I also want to say thanks to my work family. My executive assistant, Kathleen, who's here with me today. She's up in the gallery. Many of you know Kathleen, a bright light around here. My team who serve the constituents in the riding and the civil service, the folks who support our work here in the legislature, and they keep our province running every single day. I will have more to say about that later. I also want to thank the Pages for putting up with us, and most importantly, for your special coffees and for making sure none of us die of thirst. Can you imagine a house where politicians are unable to speak? Actually, that sounds kind of comforting. I thank the executive staff, the riding staff, the Fredericton staff, and Kathy for her delicious meals, the folks at GMO, the staff of PCNB, and the folks here in the legislature that keep us on track. Mr. Speaker, I am humbled and I am grateful for the kindness, the support, and the encouragement shown to me over these last 3 years by the people of St. John Harbour and of Greater St. John. I would be remiss if I didn't thank our previous MLA, Jerry Lowe, for sharing his wisdom and for his civic work and his love of our city. His wisdom often comes in the form of, I had to get the heck out of Fredericton so I could get something done, making reference to his exit from provincial politics into municipal politics. I recently had the good fortune of attending his surprise birthday party where, as he always does, he reminded me that although he's 80 years young, he may move a bit slower and his hearing is not so great. He's still got a lot of fight in him. And Jerry, if you're watching, congratulations on getting our school in the south end of St. John. It's been a long, hard fight and we finally got it, and I am so pleased. I thank Mayor Reardon and the members of her council, some of whom are here today. I thank them for understanding the importance of working in partnership with the government of New Brunswick and making sure that our priorities are aligned in order to get things done for St. John. I thank John Correa for his assistance he has provided to many of us on many important St. John files. A special thank you goes out to my dear friend Paulette Hicks, the CEO of Envision, who is recovering from a medical setback. I thank her for all of her hard work and collaboration on many files. I also extend a huge thank you to her husband, Rick, for keeping vigil at her bedside, for keeping us apprised of her progress, and for continuing to remind all of us that miracles really do happen. Congratulations to the new CEO of Envision, Andrew Beckett. Andrew, you are filling some big shoes. And his team at Envision, including Jeff Sear. I'm looking forward to working with all of you. Thank you to the city workers for successfully ratifying their collective agreement. Thank you to the police and the City of St. John firefighters for going above and beyond to keep our community and our citizens safe. I also want to express my deepest gratitude to JD Irving Limited and Irving Oil, and for the substantial contribution from the crew of the Atlantic Osprey in containing and restricting the recent AIM fire. I'd also like to say hello to my special guest who's here with us today from JDI, Chris McDonald. Thank you for being here. A special thank you and blessings to all the special people who are working to help us overcome poverty and ensure our children who are less fortunate are supported in closing the academic gaps, from teachers to volunteers and the people of our not-for-profits, including Pulse, the Carleton Community Center, Romero House, Sophia Recovery. You are all doing the work of angels right here on this earth and creating positive change that will have impact for many, many generations to come. Mr. Speaker, I want to say a special hello and thank you to the St. John Newcomer Center, Mohammed Baga, and his team for supporting our newcomers, making them feel welcome, and in helping them integrate successfully into our community. The St. John YMCA, Shiloh Boucher and her team, who are also a critical part of this community effort. Ralph Thomas, a very near and dear friend of mine, at the New Brunswick Black History Society for his exemplary commitment to preserving and teaching Black history in our province. David Duplessis of the St. John Chamber of Commerce, thank you for advocating and moving our businesses ahead. Also, a shout out to all the students in my riding and across the province. You are our future leaders. I am proud to have a couple of them with us here today. Amanda Smith, President of the UNB Student Union, and Eric Simic, the Director of Research. Thank you for being here. When we take a look around our riding, we see the reminders of our past, like the great brick buildings, and we envision the promises of the future. I mentioned our riding having broad shoulders, and they are visually represented by our two new mighty blue cranes at the Port of St. John. Thank you to Craig Esterbrooks and the leadership of the Port of St. John for the historic growth that we are seeing in our container terminal. I also want to thank my colleague from Portland Simons, as well as the International Longshoremen's Association for the exemplary work that you did around workforce development with a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion. And after many, many years knowing the ILA very well, it's been a long journey for them, but they've succeeded. Thank you. When we look at other highlights along the harbor, we have much to take pride in. Thanks to Dr. Elias and his team and the construction workers and the contractors at the Fundy Quay, which is coming along quite nicely and will be an absolute jewel when it's complete for our city. It has been another busy cruise ship season and continues until November the 7th. Since May the 7th, we have been welcoming ships holding anywhere from a few hundred to over 5,000 passengers to our beautiful city, through our cruise ship terminal and to our Area 506 waterfront container village, another great project that took the vision and the hard work of many. We have exciting projects on the go in our riding and our city. From our new French school, Le Lycée, to our new Central Peninsula School and Community Hub. Exciting progress is being made on the New Brunswick Museum as well. We celebrated the opening of 2 life-changing projects this year in St. John. In January, because of the advocacy of our dearly departed friend, John Campbell, Rose House, named after his mother, finally opened its doors for women who are in transition, those who are struggling with substance dependency, and who are now on their way to full recovery. In July, the Wellington, our new mixed housing complex, welcomed its first tenants. I'm very proud of this model, and I know Minister Green is as well. An innovative structure built by John Flood and Sons to passive house design standards, where the aim is to have a high level of energy efficiency and low level of energy cost. It was actually featured in New Brunswick Builder magazine. It contains mixed income units with a focus on diversity and inclusion. A number of the units were dedicated to persons with disabilities. This special project includes 3 units for L'Arche, which is an organization whose mission is to create homes and day programs for persons with intellectual disabilities and provide them with a true sense of community. Mr. Speaker, the point I now hope to make with all of my colleagues is a difference this government has made in our province in 5 years. We are building back from a pandemic. We are still building back from other great challenges of just 5 years ago. Think back. New Brunswick suffered a lack of population growth, a stagnant economy, and our province was struggling back from the brink of financial ruin. But look at us now. Our economy is strong, our finances are sound, and we have population growth that is so great it has presented other challenges to solve, and we are solving them. Housing is at the forefront of these challenges. I am proud to state ours is the first government in 3 decades to invest in public housing. 380 new public housing units over the next 4 years. Mr. Speaker, in our province, there are almost 5,000 housing units under construction. This is the highest level on record, going all the way back to 1990. Still with housing, a recently announced partnership with Habitat for Humanity provides for a capital investment of $70,000 per unit for up to 10 new homes per year. I believe we all agree that investment in residential building construction must continue to meet our growing needs. And as we build, there is other work ongoing. Continuing efforts on the housing front for New Brunswickers include the Residential Tenancies Act, which was amended to provide better protections for tenants and landlords. A new rent bank, which will provide $3 million over the next 2 years to support renters with small, short-term loans to reduce the risk of eviction. I do want to say here a special thank you to Graham Savage as well as Debley Construction, who I haunt on a frequent basis with respect to housing, to spur them on to make investments in our city and our riding. I thank both of them for meeting with me and for taking the opportunity to help us with respect to this very important file. Our government also recognizes the unique pressures on seniors with fixed income and will be introducing new measures to make life more affordable for them. In this session, the low-income seniors benefit will be increased. As well, the percentage of household income required to fund residential care for a spouse or partner is being reduced to allow more income to stay with the individual who continues to live at home. This government will develop and launch the New Brunswick Public University Student Housing On-Campus Fund. Housing and affordability are top priorities for many New Brunswickers, along with health care, education, social programs, and the ongoing challenges of energy, the economy, and the environment, and we are working and making progress on every single one of them. Mr. Speaker, they say anyone can hold the helm when the sea is calm. They say heavy hangs the head that wears the crown. They also say leadership is the flip side of the coin of loneliness. They say a lot of things, but while the sayers are saying, the leaders are doing. Over the last 5 years, our Premier has been getting things done for the people of New Brunswick. I am looking forward to our Premier's message as he concludes the throne speech debate. Mr. Speaker, it is my honor to serve as Minister in 3 capacities, and I would like to share some of the thoughts on each one of those. Starting first with my gratitude to our staff of each department and to the New Brunswickers who give their time, their wisdom, and their experience. We share a common goal of making our province an even better place to live, to work, raise a family, and realize your dreams. Immigration is growing at a remarkable pace, and it should come as no surprise. There are many reasons to move to New Brunswick. In addition to a variety of job opportunities, we have our vibrant entrepreneurial landscape. People are choosing New Brunswick to enjoy a more relaxed, healthy, and affordable lifestyle. New Brunswick is a province that offers opportunities to have a great career as well as a great quality of life. Being minutes away from rivers, lakes, and oceans makes New Brunswick a dream come true. We have welcomed many newcomers who want to build their dreams in our beautiful province, and we have embraced their diversity and the richness that they add to our respective communities. We've also welcomed displaced people from Ukraine, some of whom one day dream of returning home, but we hope that they will stay. I am proud to serve as a Minister of Aboriginal Affairs, and we have made some good progress while looking ahead at progress that is still to be made. We are making strong efforts on transparency, and I would invite everyone to visit our website at Aboriginal Affairs for information on negotiations and to build new economic partnerships and a host of other initiatives. As a province, the people of New Brunswick have observed and participated in the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation and Orange Shirt Day since 2021. This government implemented a 5-step duty to consult process which provides a whole-of-government approach and ensures that the First Nations consultation process is clear, it's carried out in a transparent manner, and it respects the rights of the First Nations. Again, I invite everyone to visit our Aboriginal Affairs website. Economic partnership agreements have been implemented with Elsipogtog First Nation and Nutugtuk First Nation to provide a stable source of funding to help enhance living conditions through housing as well as infrastructure development. Our government continues to work to implement the calls to action of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission. I am proud of the work that me and my colleague, Minister Holland, have recently undertaken to put together the first ever Minister and Chief's Table on Forestry. None of this would be possible without the hard-working efforts of the men and women at the Department of Aboriginal Affairs, who I call my friends. Deputy Minister Kay Libby, ADM Kim Newman, Danielle King, Janet Norman, and the entire team at Aboriginal Affairs. Your commitment and your dedication are unparalleled. Thank you. In my capacity as Minister of Post-Secondary Education, Training and Labour, I am happy to share a few of many great things that are happening here too. Our government announced funding to support UNB's 3-year Bachelor of Nursing pilot program. Full disclosure here, I'm a very proud UNB graduate. Our provincial government is providing financial support to help the University of New Brunswick create a 3-year Bachelor of Nursing program in St. John at UNBSJ. I'm also very happy to repeat this piece of great news. In partnership with public universities, we will develop and launch the New Brunswick Public University Student Housing On-Campus Fund. Working together with the Minister of Housing, PEDAL will provide financial support to the 4 publicly funded universities to increase access to student housing on campus. In addition to equipping students with the required skills to succeed after high school, this government is also focused on making sure post-secondary education is affordable for students. We have increased the maximum amounts available for the New Brunswick student loans and the New Brunswick bursaries to align with the increasing cost of living. And as someone who carried student loan debt upon graduation, I love repeating this. We eliminated interest on student loans. None of this work would be possible without the folks who work in the department. And once again, I do want to make sure that I thank my predecessor from Portland, Simons. I also thank Deputy Minister Dan Mills, Mike Murray, France Hashi, Barbara Lapointe, Rachel Brown, Ahmed Dasuki, and Mike Quinn, and the entire team at PEDAL for putting New Brunswickers first every single day. Mr. Speaker, it is a true privilege to work with the members of our government caucus and an honor to celebrate with them when New Brunswickers see positive results from their government. There seems to be some disagreement on who first said, "The measure of a society is how it treats its weakest members." But there is no disagreement among the members of this legislature that we will always have more work to do for our most vulnerable citizens. The heartbreaking addictions and mental health challenges faced by people and those who love them may seem at times insurmountable. I'm extremely proud that our government now has a minister responsible for mental health and addictions, who works diligently and directly with the Department of Health and her colleague and their amazing team. As a government, we recognize that substance dependency is an illness. It is a mental health condition that's often rooted in trauma. Addiction is a heavy load to carry, and that's why we have been and will continue to work to help people overcome these challenges and start living the life that they deserve and want. One-at-a-time therapy, also known as single-session therapy, provides same-day access to critical services. It is now offered throughout the province, lowering the wait list by over 60%. 51 new mental health full-time positions have been funded for emergency rooms to provide immediate response in times of crisis. As well, the Addictions and Mental Health Helpline has diverted 88% of crisis calls from emergency rooms since March 2023. I extend a huge shout out to Eric Beaulieu and Annie Pellerin for the amazing work that they are doing with Minister Fitch at the department. I have to say that I am in awe of Annie Pellerin, who is remarkably schooled and knowledgeable with respect to this subject. She's a beacon of hope, and her commitment and her passion to this work is nothing short of remarkable. Speaking of some remarkable people, our government's new minister responsible for seniors is off to an amazing start. I know she's, oh, here she is, great. With all the seat changes, it's hard to keep track of everybody. The Nursing Home Without Walls model has been expanded to 14 more locations, and this number will hit 20 by December. As well, a pilot project to enhance clinical care provided in adult residential facilities has been implemented in 102 locations, with more to come. Our government is working to establish a new disability support services model to provide a single service pathway for individuals with permanent disabilities. To better support emergency shelters and to help reduce chronic homelessness, $3.2 million is being invested in 2023-2024, and a new homelessness strategy will be released during this season. Mr. Speaker, in conclusion, I want to thank and welcome our guests to the legislature today, and I also thank those folks who are viewing on TV and online. Your passion for our province is truly inspiring. As I mentioned earlier, the economy of our province is stronger than ever. Our financial position is better than ever before, and our population is growing faster than ever. There have been many successes, but there is still a lot of hard work to do. I want to thank Cheryl Hansen personally, who works tirelessly to bring it all together, to ensure the one team, one GNB, is operating the way that it should. And last but not least, for going above and beyond for the citizens of this province, along with the remainder of the Good things do not happen without the right people, and I can tell you, the civil service is a testament to that. Together, we have more work to do. Along with these triumphs, together, we have welcomed fresh challenges. I believe our government has proven that we are up to the challenge, and it is for these reasons that I support this throne speech. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.